Hey guys, I'm Gemini Rage. I'm just going to give you my quick impressions of Duskbloods network test. Just to be a quick, simple, short video. And if you guys want to see more, you're excited for some Duskblood content in the future, please like and subscribe because more will be coming once Duskblood releases. I'm going to start with the contentious topic, the fact that it's PvPvE. Now, if you don't want to PvP that much, I think you could still enjoy Duskbloods because there are a lot of rounds where I just ran around killing trash mobs and bosses, and I completely avoided PvP, and a lot of the times I made it to the last round. And I like PvP a lot personally, but sometimes I would make the judgment that this is more efficient because if you didn't play the network test, you might not know, but going around randomly eliminating people does not give you points. So doing that, unless you have specific setup, because some setups give a small amount of points for a PvP kill. Unless you have that setup, it's not really worth it. You can get a power up off killing other players sometimes. It it's a random power up like the drops of Night Rain. If you're familiar with Night Rain, you kill a boss, you get a drop that includes your stats, your abilities, your damage, etc. Duskbloods has that too for bosses and other PvP players. Also, if someone's targeting you, if you juke them once, you can once you count as leave combat, you can teleport away, and they're never gonna catch you. It seems like the distance isn't that large that you have to get past them too. A lot of times people did this to me, or I did this to people, where you juke them once, you lose line of sight, you move away a little, and you just teleport across the map to one of the checkpoints, and you're free. And outside of the setup to gain points, they're called sigils. They're kind of like a ring. You could equip a sigil that gives you PvP points against specific players. There's the ritual sites. In ritual sites, you can do what's called a pledge, and there's a sword one. If you do a sword pledge, you get some points virtue for killing other players on the site. A lot of times, I would avoid the ritual sites personally because they become so overcrowded because everyone wants to gamble on getting that large bonus points that it becomes not worth it. And some people, they'll do the ritual site, they want to PvP for the points, but if you take 2 minutes to kill a player, or if you die a few times, you really took a bad gamble on the risk reward. I personally think that unless you're very confident, PvE is the way to go for points, especially when everyone's converging upon the PvP ritual site. There, you're going to be free to PvE and no one's going to ever be around to interrupt you. And that's another good thing about Duskbloods when people didn't like when Night Rain got to optimal routes. In this game, when an optimum route gets found, everyone's gonna want to do it, and then you're gonna have to fight for it. And if you're not doing an optimal route, it's it's technically not optimal, but you don't have to fight anyone for it, and you're just gonna be able to get points with no one impeding you. Because even though this game is very fast paced, if people are good, the PvP fight can take a while. You're just spending a lot of time not getting any virtue. You kind of lost the plot at that point. You might just lose because you spent time getting no points. The gameplay is very fast. Think Night Rain, but you get 4 jumps. There's a charge jump from the ground. There's an air dash. The air dash is very nice. And the verticality for this game is insane. And the netcode was surprisingly good. I had no problems personally. I didn't encounter any connection problems at all, and I must have played at least 10 hours, but I probably played closer to 12 or 16 hours of the beta test. Let's say 12. Combat's very smooth. It, it feels very Night Rain-ish Bloodborne. Now, another thing people might be concerned about is the end stage, where you're in that 1v1v1 fight. Now, in the final game, there's going to be ways to set it up so that the final fight's a big boss PvE fight. How that exactly works, at least I don't know. Maybe someone else out there knows. I don't think that information's out yet. But you're not always going to have to PvP. Something else to keep in mind is that in the full game, we're going to be able to choose what our kin are. Kins or summons in Duskbloods you can use that assist you in PvE and PvP. You can use them throughout the whole match, but in the end fight, the kins can really make or break if you win. And in the full game, apparently, there's going to be playstyles that enable you to be kind of like a backline to your kin more, and your kin will do more of the fighting. So you could play your PvP a little more tactically, and, you know, to help out the people that may need a bit extra help in PvP. All the Nightfarers, all the Bloodsworn were extremely fun and engaging. Now there's a lot of abilities and stuff to go through. If you guys want to see a video going more in depth on each individual Bloodsworn and the kin, please let me know in the comments below. For me personally, I played mostly Jan, Pajama Man, and Albert, John Duskbloods. Jan was incredible. His special is basically Malka's Blade, and it's great for PvE and bosses. And Albert was extremely versatile, very good for PvEP and PvE. And if you want just an all-around character, Albert, John Duskbloods is the way to go. Personally, I think Duskbloods is obviously well-polished and it's a good game. The only bad thing I could even say about it, I think the input delay was sometimes higher than I'd like, but then sometimes the game felt incredibly smooth and it felt like the input delay was gone. So it could be a network test issue. This was a network test after all. And it ran much better than I expected. I thought it was going to be awful, but I knew I would go in liking the game, but I was concerned about the netcode. But this test, you know, it eschewed my concerns because, you know, the netcode was better than any FromSoft title we've ever had. That's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be coming back with more Duskbloods content when it releases. So I hope you enjoyed the video and see you soon.